This is a current unit for 3D animation. We're using the software Blender. The unit starts with an introduction to the interface, and this particular assignment is a flaming monkey head as the hook to get the students interested in the 3D modeling software. They then will continue through an assignment that teaches them modeling and editing and render skills. And this particular classroom, the teacher selected a donut project as their performance task to assess whether they are modeling, editing, and rendering to a mastery standard. These are examples of what each step of the process should look like, and then there are TEKs to go along with those skills. In the gradebook, it would look like this. This is TEK 130.125A, 3D modeling and animation, critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making, distinguishing between the components of the 3D animation software, and so forth. This is all TEK A, which is just using the interface. So for the assignment, the TEK is here. The basic idea of the TEK is here for both parents and students to understand. And then in parentheses, I have put the name of the software just to help the students and parents connect the components and interface of Blender, which is what we're using in the classroom. The next standard is D, which is, B, distinguishing between the use of different kinds of modeling techniques. So this right here is labeled 3D modeling techniques, and in parentheses, I put donut part 1 so that everyone would be able to, again, connect this TEK to the standard that it talks about to the actual assignment in the classroom. The next one goes over color and design, and then the next one is rendering, which is to create, and right now it's a still animation because it's the very, very beginning. So these 4 standards were taught in the first 3 weeks. So the first 4 are the practice assignments, so they would be non-weighted, and the next 4 are for the beginning of the donut performance task. So these would be weighted. And then as the 9 weeks progresses, then these weighted grades would then switch to non-weighted grades as you added the same exact standards, but now for a more advanced part of the project. So now as they're working on the coffee cup, by the time you get to the 4th or 5th week of the 9 weeks, the coffee cup would be the most recent feedback of those skills, the modeling, the color and design, and rendering process. So these would now replace, as the weighted grades, these grades from the 3rd week of the unit. Instead of replacing the grade and in the same column as a teacher, I would have left the grades there with the dates, with the assignment, so that both parents and students can see the story, can see the progress for 3D modeling techniques as they move from the practice assignment through the donut to now the coffee cup, so they can see the growth in the standard, as well as what we're actually doing in class, so that things don't disappear out of the gradebook. But the donut would have been what was reported as progress for the 3rd week report card, progress report. And this would be what would be reported as 6 weeks progress. And then you would add, as you went through the assignment, what would be then in the nine weeks by the end. This is why the assessment plan is so important, and that you understand what standards are being assessed with what performance tasks, so that in this case, I can keep the standards aligned with the student's progress through what the student view would be. Here is the lovely Minnie Mouse looking in Hack. She can click to the 3D modeling course and see the practice assignment, non-weighted. You can see she had a 60 for rendering, and then the second part of the assignment where she worked on the donut icing, she improved her rendering, and it's now at 80. Since the grades are not due yet, nothing's being averaged because I used the whole 3 weeks. And so this just helps hopefully students and parents track what skills are being assessed, how they're being reassessed as they move throughout the 9 weeks, and what parts of the assignments are connected. So they can see the TEK, what the TEK is talking about, and what the assignment actually is. And then when they click on it, if you put the actual wording of the TEK in, it'll be right here.